Living with HIV, it takes courage to share our lives, our blood, our voices, and our wisdoms. We trust you to honor this journey and remember us as you do this work. We are so much more than the statistic. We are the spirit of the numbers, and we're also the voices of the graphs and the tables. Our responsibility is to do our work with dedication and passion and remind ourselves to do our work with humility, respect, love, honesty, truth, wisdom, and courage.
The original project, Building Bridges, is and was a community-based research collaboration of Indigenous and allied stakeholders and researchers that took place in both the East and West Territories of Canada. Our research questions were asked by Indigenous people living with HIV and answered through data included in the CANOC collaboration. One of the really key learnings was that this study showed us how important it is to involve Indigenous people living with HIV in their own research, and research that is about them. It is so much more meaningful, and we found that we were asking questions that actually mattered to people rather than questions that people who were researchers sitting in an office thought would be important.
When we build bridges, we have to know that there's something on either end of them. There's no sense in building those bridges if there's no one on the other end that receives it or really wants that information. So we really need to talk to the people that are living with HIV and the people from the lands. So we designed our beautiful logo for our work, exemplifying that we were going to be using Indigenous ways of doing, and that the living experience, you see, is right front and center of our bridge, and that this is going to be community-based research, and that we'll be honoring Indigenous worldviews. So we wanted to be really respectful of our culture, and in building this bridge that bridges us all together, and that we are able to work in allyship. I'll be speaking about arriving in Saskatoon in October of 2019. Researchers discussed Indigenous and settler worldviews and the importance of recognizing everyone as both teachers and as learners. Research priorities were identified through a sharing circle. Indigenous team members were actively engaged in reciprocal knowledge exchange that highlighted the areas of research that were meaningful to them and their communities. And we came up with our research questions. How does distance to an HIV specialist or community where an HIV specialist visits impact quality of HIV care? And how does peer support and cultural connectivity improve HIV outcomes and quality of care?
When I speak about my spirit coming home, it's the reflection of being immersed in culture. It just surfaced and came out, and that's where I flourished with this. This project was so significant for me. This encompasses exactly what happened in Saskatchewan for me personally. My spirit came home. When I speak about that, my mind, my heart, my body, my spirit, all was carried so well in a nourishing way that culture is within me. I am culture. Culture is me. I am culture.
Being a part of building bridges and building more bridges has fundamentally changed who I am as a person and how I see the world. It has taught me to question my own assumptions around ways of knowing and to open up my mind to different knowledge systems. It's taught me to look beyond the numbers and to see people. It's taught me about strength, and I'm inspired by all the community partners that I've had the opportunity to work with. I'm also inspired by all of the team members who identify as settlers, and their involvement gives me hope that reconciliation is possible.